Hey guys, welcome to the shop. I finished the repairs on the P-47 and I've gone to an event that I thought was in August, but good thing I checked my calendar. So let's get right into the repairs. The first thing I had to do was peel back all of the aluminum that are in the affected area. So it was pretty simple because it was one main area on the top of the wing. And I did have to section a little bit of the leading edge, but it blended in pretty well. I'll show you some pictures when we get to that point. So from there, you have to strategically look for areas to cut away the balsa. And what I mean by that is looking for areas where the balsa is going to create a lip. So you look for areas where your new piece are going to be able to glue down onto at the edges. So leaving just a little bit of a shoulder on a rib or on a stringer on the wing or something like that. That's really what you're looking for in terms of strategically placing where you're going to cut. And you're going to cut a little bit at a time. It's a little bit messy, but it's painful because you're kind of like, well, I'm cutting into this and I don't really know what I'm going to be doing and where it's going to end up in the end. But it's challenging and it hurts a little bit, especially to the ego, but you'll be fine. So from there, what you want to do is take any remaining parts that you can salvage and glue them back in. Things like this are going to be like ribs. In this case, there were a couple of rib formers for the wheel well that I was able to glue back into place and use those to help conform the top sheeting of the wing again. From there, I had the leading edge of the wing that is just balsa, and there was also a piece of ply, so I had to cut a new piece of ply of the same thickness that I had in my scrap pile, and then put just a chunk of balsa. I had some leading edge stock that wasn't exactly the same shape, but it was okay because I just glued it into place and used my razor planer to cut it down. Not really a huge deal. So once you have all of your framework built back up, then you want to go and do your sheet work. So you do your sheet work, same as you would do any other sheeting. If you have a curve that requires it, go ahead and wet your piece of balsa sheeting and then lay it over the curve and let it dry. And once it's dry, then you can glue it into place. In my case, I didn't really need to since the curve was with the bend of the grain. So I just went ahead and glued it in. And let's see, after that, obviously I did a whole bunch of sanding, obviously razor planing on that leading edge just to cut things back pretty quickly. And then I glassed. Same method as before, apply sanding sealer to the wood, let it dry, sand it, apply a layer of glass with the sanding sealer, let it cure, then 3 layers of sanding sealer, and then sand to fill in the weave of the glass that I'm using. So I did that on the top and the bottom portions of the wing where it was needed, and that was not a big deal. And then it was back on to the aluminum. I had to cut new pieces of aluminum. Obviously, I'm not going to go into detail on that much, just to say that I did it. And I did all of this over the course, all of this from dissection all the way to putting the last rivet detail back on the airplane. Did it over a course of about a week and a half, and a total of 5 hours of work. It was not hard, people. I had originally estimated 6 to 10 hours of work to do the repair, and it ended up at 5. And that was even kind of rushing because I wanted to make it to an event. So my last video, I said that I had an event in August. Turns out it was not in August, it was at the end of July. So Uh, I did make it out to that event. It's my last event. Had a wonderful time. Saw some really spectacular aircraft. Spent a good number of hours just talking with people and chatting. It was my last event for the year, so a little bit sad, but still really good. Got 2 flights on the P-47. Flew great both times, no issues, no problems. Did make sure I had those telemetry logs back on, and I did check, and the signal looks like any other plane still. So I am convinced that there is some sort of interference at Fury Field, and we are taking steps to try to investigate and mitigate that in the future. But it is what it is. I'm glad it didn't end up any worse than it had. So that being said, my workshop is cleaned up at this point. And I am moving on, and I have some things that I have planned over the course of the remainder of this summer that I want to share with you all before I get into my next big build. There are some teaser things happening on Instagram and things that I will post on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, I highly recommend that you do so. Some interesting things coming our way. It'll be fun. That being said, one more thing I need to definitely mention is Jeff Poole. So I wanted to film this, so insert a little video clip here of something that Jeff Poole sent me.
Alright, so believe it or not, someone reached out to me, Jeff Poole, on Instagram. Jeff, I met you at Flight Fest and you took some amazing pictures, and just want to take a quick moment here and open this. I don't know what's in here. Jeff just said, hey, I have something for you, and I gave him my address, and I'm opening it for the first time. It's a packing slip. Man, it's all shrink wrapped and everything. Wow. 1 5x7 statuette. I don't know what a statuette is, but we're gonna find out. I'm being gentle because I don't know what it is. I don't want to ruin it if it's something. Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay. All right, so let me take this out. Looks like it goes together pretty quick. So this looks like it's very laser cut, and it's got a little acrylic base and a silhouette of me with the photo that he took holding the P-47, and that looks like it just slips in there. Yeah, just like that. Look at that. That is cool. That's going to go right here on my workbench.
So thank you, Jeff. It was very generous of you. I really appreciate it. First time I've ever gotten something fan mail before, but no, it's sitting. It's right here. It's right here, and I love my interactions with people that I meet at events, and it's all the more reason for me to keep doing this. So I have more techniques, I have more interesting things that I want to share with you, and I'm looking forward to making more flying works of art.